Alright, I just finished working out. Ordered my burrito at Veg Out. Pretty excited about eating that. But there was a little concept I wanted to talk about today. It may not be as much of an issue now as it was at one point, but I still see remnants of it here and there. And that's the whole nature versus nurture thing. Now I think anybody with any common sense and ability to observe the world as it really is instead of formulating a biased opinion and then trying to make the world around them match that, can see that both areas contribute to who people become. It's not an either or, it's a both and, or whatever you want to say. But one of the things about this that makes me laugh is there's a lot of like social justice warriors and people for extreme causes out there that like to always talk about social engineering and whatnot, and like they forget to look around the whole world. Like, human beings are animals, and for some reason we always pretend like we're some kind of separate entity that's so far above the animal kingdom and that we're so different. But we have DNA programs, we have instincts, we have all that kind of stuff that animals have. It's just due to our cognitive abilities and our abilities to create civilizations and stuff, we kind of can have like this battle of the mind versus instinct sometimes, which sometimes freezes us and makes life all complicated and stupid, but it's there. But when you look at animals, they'll live whole lives doing all these things that they're instinctually programmed to do. And yet it's so hard for, say, a feminist to believe that maybe a boy has certain preferences and a girl has certain preferences. And we all know that there's no universal generalization that's 100% true for every single human in that category. But what I'm saying is a lot of generalizations tend to be the norm for most people of that generalization, if it's a generalization based on accurate observation of reality, as opposed to something that somebody just makes off a couple rare exceptions because they haven't had much exposure to many representations of that group they're generalizing. But like human, like we're different. We have testosterone and estrogen. Chemicals, hormones, they greatly affect human behavior. Like, I mean, you hear all the stories about roid rage and stuff, and maybe it's exaggerated, but it's just a fact that hormones influence behavior. Like, you think about the difference between someone with a lot of oxytocin in their system versus someone with a lot of cortisol in their system, or somebody who has a lot of dopamine in their system. Like, they're all gonna have like different dispositions. Or like someone with a lot of dopamine, they're gonna be happy, full of pleasure. It's gonna be a good day for them. And somebody that's chock full of cortisol is gonna be stressed and anxious and displeased. So you can't say that kind of stuff doesn't affect people. And I know there's a lot of people out there that realize this, but I see the stupidest things sometimes. Like, I was reading something in Wikipedia on the concept of there being difference between two different sexes of the same animal. And you look at some things like great white sharks. Female great white sharks are bigger on average than male great white sharks. It's just a fact. And like, look at lions. Look how freaking obvious that is. Like, you got female lions, they like are much more slightly built. They don't have big huge manes and stuff, and it's like kind of like their purpose. Like, these females, they're sleek, they're slender, they're agile, they have good endurance and energy because they're out there hunting and providing all the time. The males are big and huge and powerful. All they do is lay around. Their basic purpose is to be this big, huge, strong, powerful protector of the pride when other males come. Because as you know, when a new set of males takes over a pride, they kill all the former cubs to wipe out the genes of the predecessor. And none of the lionesses want that to happen, so they want strong males to protect their cubs, and eventually they get old and get killed, and it happens anyway. But the point of a male lion is to be a big, strong fighter, and there's like differences like that in all kinds of things. And you look around and it's obvious that the average man's taller than the average woman, even though there's a huge variety in every gender. We got men who are like 2 foot tall and women that are 8 foot tall, so obviously it's not 100%, but in general the average man's taller than the average woman. In general, the average man has about 50% to 100% more upper body strength than the average woman, even though we have super strong women and super weak men. And those are just differences due to our hormones, our bone structures, like the way our DNA programs us to grow. And yet, if you read like the Wikipedia thing I did, it'll say it's due to social constructs of there being importance placed on men to be strong, and it's just silliness. It's like, dude, look at the world the way it really is, instead of forming these silly ideologies and then trying to make the whole world match it. So that's all I wanted to bring up, was the fact that there are innate differences. It's not all nurture. There is nature. And both contribute to who we become as human beings. But it's what I'm always talking about, that pendulum thing. Don't be so crazy black or white, right or left. Aristotle's golden mean, I say that over and over in my videos, and people that violate it extremely always end up looking like idiots and not having a very realistic worldview. So I'm just warning you, don't be stupid, don't be extreme. Look at the world how it really is.